Alrighty, so in this video we're going to start talking about some math properties. This one's going to be specifically about the addition math properties that we look at in this class. So we have commutative, identity, and associative. Those are our kind of three main ones. We also have the inverse property of addition. We'll talk about that in a moment. So they give you little kind of symbols here to help you remember a little bit, like commutative, kind of to commute, to move around. We can think of it that way. So we have 4 plus 5 equals 9, or 5 plus 4 equals 9. 4 plus 5 is the same or equal to 5 plus 4 because they both equal 9 on either side. So it doesn't matter which way I add the numbers. 4 plus 5 is the same thing as 5 plus 4. Okay, so we can add, I'm going to change my pen here really quick because I'd taken it down for the last video and forgot to bring it back up a little bit. Okay, so I can add numbers in any order. That's the commutative property. I can commute them around. I can move them around. As long as it's all addition, that's not going to hurt the problem. Identity, and we have a little mirror here. So it's basically what can I add to a number to not change its identity, keep it the same? Well, that would be 0. So adding 0, dang it, oops, 0, there we go, a little better, to a number does not change the number or the identity. I think that's actually the word I was going for there. Identity. But you could put the number there, that's fine. But it keeps it the same. When we add 0 to something, it doesn't change it. Associative, you can see there's little groups of friends here. So we have yellow dress, red shirt, pink dress, because I can't really see. I think it's 2 boys and a girl, if I'm seeing that correctly. They're kind of small there. But they have the yellow dress and the red shirt grouped on the top with the pink dress girl kind of outside, and then they switch, and now they've grouped them. Now, of course, when we change grouping, in this case, this might not be 100% all right as far as this, but we're just assuming they're all friends. So right now, these two are hanging out, and maybe she's going off and doing something else, and then at a different time, these two are hanging out, and she's doing something else. So it's all one group of friends, and they're just hanging out or associated at different times. So we do the same thing with numbers. So 2 plus 5, grouped, they are associated, meaning they're related to each other in some way. We're kind of grouping them. Plus 4 is 11. Well, I can do the same thing down here. I go 2 plus, now 5 plus 4 is grouped. They are associated, but it still equals 11. It's not changing anything. All I did was group the 2 and the 5 up here, and the 4 and the 5 down here, but I'm still adding 2 plus 5 plus 4. It's just grouping them in different ways to kind of not single them out or anything like that, but it's just to kind of put them together for some specific reason usually. A lot of the time we do this with compatible numbers. So the grouping of addition problems will not change the sum or the overall total, right? Because I can group them, and however I want, it's still the same 3 numbers being added. I'm just moving the grouping around. All right, so now down here, when you do this on Alex, there's going to be a little drop down to do. On this one, you do have to type the number in. So in this one, we're going to fill in the blanks based on one of these 3 properties, and then we're going to identify which property it was. So with this one, 0 plus something equals 7. Well, the only thing I could add to 0 to get 7 would be 7. And so if we look up here, that is our identity property. Identity. So that's our identity property because it didn't change the 7, it stayed 7. 6 plus 3 plus something is equal to 6 plus 3 plus 5 with the 3 and the 5 grouped. The 6 and 3 are grouped over here, but again, it's all addition, so the grouping doesn't really matter. It doesn't change anything, but I need to make sure it's the same 3 numbers. So if I have 6 and 3, the missing number is 5. And so this is all about grouping. That's associative. And again, it's just, which one is it? Associate means to group. And if I say, who do you associate with? If I was talking to you like as a person, I'm asking, who do you hang out with? Okay. All right. So now we have blank plus 9 equals 9 plus 7. All right, remember it's got to be the same 2 numbers. We're just switching the order now because I have something plus 9 and then I have 9 plus 7. Well, it needs to be the same something if they're equal to each other, right? So, and I've just switched the order. I've commuted or moved them around. So this is the commutative property. And I put an extra I in there for some reason. All right, so now down here we have one more property of addition. It's called the inverse property of addition. So the sum of a number and its opposite is always 0. So here's some examples. I have -4 plus 4 equals 0. Kind of looks like there's another negative on that one that shouldn't be there. -5 plus 5 is 0. So they're opposites of each other. And I can even show you this with little tiles. So if I look at -4 plus 4, if I have -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative, 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 there's 4 negatives. And then I have +4. And I want to combine these. Remember, one positive to one negative cancels out. That becomes 0 because they completely cross off. So I can go 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. There's none left, which means it's 0. So this is the algebra tiles version of this, but it's just showing you this property. So down here we're going to choose the property of addition. So same idea, but now we have an inverse on here. So -x plus x. I can't do as many tiles, although I still could if I wanted to. I could say I have a -x and I have a +x. I only have one of each. So when I want to go through and cross this off, I go 1 to 1 and there's nothing left. So this is the 0 property or the inverse property. I've heard it called the 0 property of addition also, but I think Alex specifically calls it the inverse property of addition. All right, and then we have 5 plus y equals y plus 5. So it's all addition. I can change the order. I can move things around. That's the commutative property. Commutative. And then a equals a plus 0. So I have a. I have not changed the identity of a because I'm only adding 0 to it, which changes nothing. So this makes this the identity property of addition. Identity. Alright, so that is all of the math properties for addition for now. So go ahead and go on Alex and give it a try.